So Ginger, thank you for joining us and agreeing to do a video review with us. Let's start with some just sort of basic stuff. What kind of case did we work on for you?
You worked on a case involving a car accident in which my mom didn't make it. So I believe it was a wrongful death case.
Yeah. And I think you were the family member who first reached out to us. Do I remember that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Who'd you talk with?
I talked to you. And so what happened is I called and I had called some other law firms prior to calling you, but what I appreciated is I called you and I didn't get you. But somehow, within like 3 minutes of me calling you, you sent me a text message. And I was like, what? That was fast. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Okay. And then as we kind of went through your case, I mean, that was a while ago. You called me run about 3 years ago. Does that sound about
That's
right?
correct. Yes, about 3 years ago. That's right.
Okay. And during that time, you worked with some other folks at our firm. Who'd you work with?
The person I interacted with the most is Tom Giannotti.
Okay. And how was Tom? Was he helpful, responsive? Did he know what he was doing?
Of course. Of course. And I will say the thing that I like the most about Tom is so we contacted you guys relatively soon. In my opinion, it was relatively soon after the accident. And so as a result, we're still grappling with the effects in the associated grief. And granted, we're still grappling with that, but it was very fresh.
Right.
So as far as Tom is concerned, prior to handing it off to my sister, and even after handing it off to my sister, Tom was always available to speak with me. And I think I had more than a few breakdowns on the phone with Tom, but he handled those with grace. And then also, as you may be aware, I always ask a lot of questions. And I am sure Tom was like, Ginger, I don't even want to talk to Ginger because I know she's going to have at least 5 questions. But yes, no, he never said that. And he always tried to answer my questions. I'm just sure I probably have more questions than a typical person. And so the fact that he continued to ask my questions even after my sister took the lead, it meant the world to me. Now, one thing, and you probably were going to ask me this, but things fly in and out of my brain. Okay, so I got to say it while it's in my brain. Now, one thing that I truly, truly appreciated about Tom in the service I received from Butler Kahn in general, but Tom specifically, is the fact that during the course of this case, as my sister alluded to, we had a divide and conquer approach because I could not do it all. And my sister stepped up to the plate and did a fantastic job. But with that being said, I was handling the criminal case. She was handling the civil case. As it so happens, the defendant, Nakia Cherry, ended up suing me. And somehow, although I was represented by a different lawyer, the cases were kind of intertwined. The long story short is my case eventually got dismissed, and it didn't get dismissed because of my lawyer. It got dismissed because of Tom, and I'm so very grateful for that.
That's right. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. What I want, is you talking and less me. So I'll ask questions only when I got to. We ended up trying the case, which is unusual. Most cases don't go all the way to trial. And you, Ginger, testified about your mom at trial and were so strong. You did such a good job. Tell me about how that experience was for you.
So, I said earlier on in this conversation that I called Tom a lot. Okay. So I don't know if he remembers this, but during one of those early calls, so it must have, yeah, it was during one of our early calls. I told Tom that I would love to be a spark of life witness for my mom. Now, at the time when I said that, I didn't know that provision was specific to Minnesota, but I said, I wanted to have that opportunity, you know, to to at least convey all that she meant to me. And so the fact that during this case, during the civil trial, I had the opportunity to talk about, how much she meant to me, but not just only to me, but to my other family members, to other community members in which she
Mhm.
impacted. It really helped me. And I will say that, because that's something I had put in the atmosphere and prayed about a long, long time ago. So for that to finally come to fruition, I was very thankful for that. And I have to say, I know I keep talking about Tom, and people are like, why do you keep talking about Tom? But
So
I
I
have
love
to
hearing
say,
about Tom.
no, I,
You're
I have
great.
to say, the preparation in for trial and getting on the witness stand, he was very helpful in helping me think through, um, just everything, like how to best present my story. Now I was taking notes and everything, because I take notes again because things fly in and out of my head. But he was just helpful in that regard too, because I know we had one meeting and I don't know what I had done with my notes, but Tom was on top of it.
Mhm.
So and then even when I was on the stand, I did not anticipate, okay, I because you heard my sister say that I did take it hard, but I think um like right after the accident, the Lord put me in some state of denial, or I don't know what he put me in, but he put me in something where I could do the criminal part. And I knew he was going to do that for the trial too. So I never anticipated breaking down the minute I got on the stand. Okay. I never anticipated that. And I would say, being able to look out and just focus on time really helped me pull myself together and then be able to, maintain my composure so I didn't have that many subsequent breakdowns while I was on the stand.
You had, I'm not sure, you may not know this, you had probably the most fun and memorable moment of the on the record part of the trial. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I think you're talking about the trunk, the car trunk. Yes, yes.
So your mom had, I'll do the first part, then you come in and with the end. Your mom was a wonderful woman, did all kind of community stuff. She had more organizations she was a part of that I can hardly count, through her church, through her personal life, through her family. But one of the things was you, her daughter, were a part of a group of moms called the Mocha Moms, and y'all were gathering supplies or something, because this was COVID time when everyone was running around like grabbing all the household supplies. And your mom got a call from like her friend at the Dollar General or something that a particular product was available.
Right.
And so, we found this particular product in great abundance in her vehicle, after the collision. Tell me about this.
So what had happened, it probably was like within no more than 2 days before that accident. But I am a member of the Mocha Moms and I'm still a member, and they had put in their group me, hey, I just went to Walmart. I can't find any toilet paper, and somebody else say, well, I just went to Kroger. I can't find any toilet paper in it. So in my mind I was like, oh, it's a run on toilet paper.
It was a
So
lot
I
on toilet paper.
yeah. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, you need to go get some toilet paper because the Mocha Moms are saying they can't find any. So long story short, after the accident, when my husband and I went to see if there were any belongings remaining in the car that we would like to keep, he said that, you know, they were able to get open one of the side doors of the car and go and look in the interior of the car, but it was very hard to open the trunk. Okay. And then one detail I didn't mention is my husband had a severe back injury at this time. But anyway, he made his way to the car. They were trying to get the trunk open, and he said it wouldn't budge. And then finally it budged. But when it opened, 300 rolls of toilet paper just spewed out like a jack in the box, right? How it just pops out. All of these rolls of toilet paper went all up in the air and all on the floor. And, you know, that cracked me up because although it was a sad moment, just imagining all that toilet paper flying out of the trunk, it's like, come on, what were you thinking? So, yeah.
That's fun. Okay, so result of the case, we'll talk about it in your video as well as we did in your sister's. We ended up settling the case. After we tried it, closed arguments were done. Jury was out, decided what they were going to do. We're in the hall. Allstate starts calling me, offering real money, and we ended up settling the case for. This is where you come in.
Oh, 14 million.
10 million.
Yes. 14 million, yes.
Oh, all right. And then let's see. I want to ask you about how you got to talking with the at-fault driver, Miss Cherry, in a minute. But before I do that, is there anything I hadn't asked you about that sort of stands out that you'd like to share about the case or our firm or anything like that?
No, I think well, let me say this. And I don't know how you would slice and dice this, but the one thing that it probably came out, but I didn't say explicitly, is that I mentioned previously that I contacted several other law firms, and how you texted me back very quickly after not receiving my call. But what I truly believe, but I'm also so very thankful for, is you guys took on the risk. You know, I had a friend I worked with who had the inside connection to another law firm that you always, Gary Martin and Hayes. Is that it? Gary Martin and Hayes?
They exist.
Yeah, so I called them and they were like, no. And I called like 3 or 4 other law firms and they were all like, no. So I'm so grateful for you guys taking on the risk and, you know, representing us, although conventional wisdom might have been like, there's no way you could win this because she was making a left turn. You know what I mean? But you guys were not deterred. And I'm very grateful for that.
Well, thank you and your family for trusting us with the case. Tell us how you got to talking with Miss Cherry.
So as far as Miss Cherry is concerned, I have to say that my sister, I guess she was my role model in that case. She really inspired me. I have subsequently said that, you know, God ordered the civil case go before the criminal case, because from the very first day we spoke to the detective, which was the day after my mom passed, I was adamant that Miss Cherry would serve some jail time, and not a little bit. Okay, let's be clear. My sister has always been you know, more forgiving, and very early on, like she had a heart of forgiveness, and just seeing her and talking to her about being considerate of what Nakia was going through, and you know, her, because my sister was in the courtroom, I wasn't in the courtroom, right? So she got to observe Nakia more frequently, see her reactions, hear her testimony, but her willingness to openly forgive and put forgiveness into action and not just talk about it, but be about it, that inspired me. So therefore, when I first went in, because I was avoiding Nakia like the plague, okay? Although I was sitting out in the hall that whole time and I saw her come in and out and in and out. But when I went into that bathroom, I did leave. I did leave the bathroom when I saw her in there, but then I was convicted and I went back in and she was crying hard once she saw me. I mean, she was already distraught, but once she saw me, she started boo-hooing. And given all you guys know about my mother, there was no way in the world I could walk into the bathroom and see somebody boo-hooing and not try to console them. And again, I said the civil case came first because, you know, the Lord softened my heart and the Lord put me in a place where I could be a person of forgiveness and, you know, be a person that I would hope I would come across, which is somebody who would offer redemption and offer forgiveness.
That's lovely.